What happens when we die? This is a question that has echoed through the halls of human history, whispered in ancient temples and debated in modern laboratories. For as long as we have looked up at the stars and wondered about our place in the cosmos, we have also looked inward, questioning the nature of our own existence. Is this life all there is? Is the moment our heart stops beating the final curtain call on our consciousness? Or is it possible that death is not an end but a transition, a doorway to another state of being, a new chapter in a story that is far grander than we can imagine from our limited earthly perspective? For many, the thought of nothingness is a cold and empty prospect. It suggests that all our love, our struggles, our learning and our growth simply vanish into the void. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if there is a continuity, a thread that connects one life to the next? This idea proposes that between the final breath of one life and the first cry of another, something profound occurs. It suggests that our consciousness, what some might call the soul, embarks on a remarkable journey. This is not a journey through physical space, but through spiritual realms, a time of reflection, learning, and preparation for what is to come. Imagine for a moment that our life on Earth is like a single day at school. We learn lessons, we face challenges, we form friendships, and we make mistakes. When the day ends, we don't cease to exist. We go home, we rest, we process what we learned, and we get ready for the next day. The concept of a spiritual journey after death is much like this. It is a period of cosmic rest and review, a time when the essence of who we are is untethered from the physical body and exists in a purely spiritual state. It is a time to understand the life we just lived and to prepare for the one that awaits us. This journey is not a solitary one. Ancient wisdom and modern spiritual thought often speak of guides, of beings of light who help us navigate this transition. They are like experienced travelers who know the path and can help us find our way. They offer comfort, wisdom, and guidance as we cross the threshold from the world we knew into a reality beyond our physical senses. This journey is central to one of the universe's most enduring mysteries, the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It's a story that suggests our existence is not a brief flicker, but an eternal flame, continually renewed. When the physical body can no longer sustain us, our journey does not abruptly stop. Instead, it transforms. The part of us that thinks, feels, and loves, our consciousness or soul, is released from its earthly vessel. This is not a moment of extinction, but of liberation. Think of a diver who has spent a long time underwater in a heavy suit. When they finally surface and take off the helmet, they can breathe freely and see the world without the confines of their gear. Similarly, the soul, freed from the body, enters a state of expanded awareness. It is a journey into a realm of pure spirit, a world not governed by time and space as we know them. In this spiritual realm, the soul begins a process of review. It's not a judgment handed down by an external force, but a deep personal understanding of the life just lived. Every action, every word, every thought is re-experienced, not with the pain of regret, but with the clarity of hindsight. We see the consequences of our choices, both the good and the bad. We understand how our actions created ripples that touched the lives of others, creating waves of joy or sorrow. This life review is a profound act of self-realization, a moment to grasp the lessons that our earthly experiences were meant to teach us. It is a compassionate and illuminating process. After this period of reflection, the soul enters a state of rest and rejuvenation. The struggles and pains of earthly life are washed away, much like a traveler finding a peaceful oasis after a long and difficult trek through the desert. This is a time of healing, where the soul absorbs the love and wisdom of the spiritual world. It is a homecoming, a return to our true nature as spiritual beings. In this state, we are surrounded by a sense of peace and belonging that is often hard to find in the material world. It is a time to reconnect with the cosmic source from which all life emanates, to recharge our spiritual energy. This journey between lives is not a passive waiting period. It is an active and dynamic phase of our existence. It is where the blueprint for our next life begins to take shape. Based on the lessons we've learned and the spiritual progress we've made, we start to form the intentions for our next incarnation. We're not simply thrown into a new life at random. Instead, we participate in the design of our future, choosing the circumstances that will best allow us to continue our growth. This journey is a fundamental part of a grand cosmic cycle of evolution, a continuous process of becoming more than we were before. What determines the nature of our journey between lives and the circumstances of our next one? Many spiritual traditions offer an answer in a single, powerful concept: karma. Karma is often misunderstood as a system of cosmic punishment and reward, but it is much simpler and more profound than that. It is the universal law of cause and effect applied to our thoughts, words, and actions. Every choice we make sends a vibration out into the universe, and that vibration eventually returns to us. It is not about a divine judge keeping score. It is about the natural consequences of our own energy. Imagine throwing a stone into a still pond. The stone is your action, and the ripples that spread across the water are its consequences. Those ripples travel outwards, but they also eventually travel back to the shore where you are standing. Karma works in a similar way. Acts of kindness, compassion, and love create positive ripples, and that positive energy will eventually find its way back to us, perhaps in this life, perhaps in the next. Conversely, actions rooted in anger, selfishness, or cruelty create negative ripples, and we will also have to experience the return of that energy. It is a law of balance, ensuring that the universe remains in harmony. This law directly shapes our experiences after death and before our next birth. The life review process is, in essence, a direct encounter with our karma. We see firsthand the effects of our actions on ourselves and others. This understanding helps the soul to recognize what lessons still need to be learned. If a person was consistently greedy in one life, their soul might recognize the need to learn generosity. The karmic pattern they created points the way toward the experiences they will need in a future life to balance their spiritual scales and achieve a more harmonious state of being. Therefore, karma is not a form of punishment, but an opportunity for growth. It is the universe's way of teaching us. If we touch a hot stove and get burned, we learn not to do it again. The pain is not a punishment, it is a lesson. Similarly, the challenges we face in life, which may be the result of past karma, are not meant to make us suffer. They are presented to us as opportunities to develop strength, compassion, and wisdom. Understanding karma empowers us. It means we are not victims of fate, but active creators of our own destiny, shaping our future with every choice we make today. The time between physical lives is more than just a period of rest and reflection. It is a vibrant school for the soul. After reviewing the past life and understanding its karmic lessons, the soul begins an active process of preparation for its next journey on Earth. This is a time of immense learning and development, where we acquire new capacities and refine our spiritual nature. It is like an artist stepping back from a canvas to mix new colors and envision the next stage of their masterpiece. Here the soul is the artist, and the next life is the canvas. The goal is to create a life that will foster greater growth and deeper understanding. In this spiritual classroom, we are not alone. We are assisted by beings who are more spiritually advanced than we are. You can think of them as wise teachers or loving guides. These beings have traveled the path of evolution for much longer and have a broader perspective on the cosmic plan. They help the soul to understand its karmic patterns and to choose the right conditions for its next incarnation. They don't make the decisions for us, but they offer their wisdom and support, much like a skilled guidance counselor helping a student choose the courses that will best prepare them for their future career. The preparation involves more than just planning. The soul actively works on developing new faculties. For example, a soul that needs to learn compassion might spend time in the spiritual world immersing itself in feelings of universal love. A soul that struggled with impatience might work on cultivating a sense of deep, cosmic patience. This is not just theoretical learning. It's a deep, experiential process that reshapes the very essence of the soul. It's like a musician practicing their scales before a major performance. The soul is honing its spiritual instruments in preparation for the symphony of the next life. Ultimately, this period culminates in a choice. In collaboration with its guides, the soul chooses the specific circumstances of its next birth. This includes the time and place of birth, the family it will be born into, and the key challenges and opportunities it will face. These choices are not made to create an easy life, but a meaningful one. A life that will provide the exact lessons the soul needs for its continued evolution. From this perspective, our birth is not an accident. It is a carefully planned mission, an assignment we have willingly accepted for the sake of our own spiritual journey. Have you ever met someone for the first time and felt an instant, unexplainable connection, a sense of familiarity as if you have known them your whole life? Spiritual teachings suggest this may not be a coincidence. It could be the echo of a bond forged in a previous life. The people we are closest to in this life, our family, our dearest friends, even our most significant rivals, are often souls with whom we have traveled for many lifetimes. We form spiritual families or soul groups that reincarnate together to help each other learn and grow. These connections are part of the karmic plan we design between lives. When preparing for a new incarnation, souls often make agreements with one another. A soul might agree to be the loving parent to another soul who needs to experience unconditional acceptance. Two souls might agree to become close friends to support each other through difficult challenges. Even difficult relationships can be part of this plan. A soul we have wronged in the past might agree to reincarnate with us, giving us the opportunity to make amends and resolve the negative karma between us. These are sacred contracts made for mutual growth. Think of it like a theatre company. A group of actors might work together for many years, playing different roles in different plays. In one play, two actors might be lovers, in the next they might be enemies, in another they could be a parent and child. The roles change, but the underlying connection between the actors remains. Our soul groups function in a similar way. The person who is your mother in this life may have been your child in a past life, or your best friend in another. We switch roles to give each other a wide range of experiences and to help each other learn from every possible angle. This perspective can bring profound comfort and meaning to our relationships. It helps us understand why certain bonds feel so deep and why some relationships are so challenging. They are not random occurrences, but part of a larger, unfolding story. When you look into the eyes of a loved one, you may be looking at a fellow traveler you have known for eons. Recognizing this can transform our interactions. It encourages us to treat every person with greater kindness and patience, knowing that we are all connected in a web of destiny, helping each other on the long and beautiful journey back to the source. When we look at the world, we can see it through two very different lenses. One view tells us that life is a product of chance and physical laws. From this perspective, who we are is determined by our genetic inheritance and our environment. Our parents pass down their DNA, and the circumstances of our upbringing shape our personality and our opportunities. A person is born into poverty or wealth, health or sickness, simply by a roll of the cosmic dice. In this view, there is no deeper meaning or purpose behind the conditions of our birth. Life is a beautiful but ultimately random accident. This materialistic viewpoint has its own logic and is supported by much of what we can observe with our physical senses and scientific instruments. We can map the human genome and see how traits are passed down from one generation to the next. We can study sociology and psychology to understand how our environment influences our behavior. This perspective gives us a framework for understanding the mechanics of our physical existence. It tells us the how of our life, explaining the physical processes that brought us into being and that sustain us. For many, this explanation is entirely sufficient. However, there is another way of seeing. This is the spiritual perspective, which suggests that behind the physical world of heredity and environment, there is a world of spiritual causes. This view does not deny the importance of genetics or upbringing. Instead, it sees them as tools or instruments that the soul uses to fulfill its purpose. The soul chooses a specific genetic lineage and a particular environment because they provide the exact conditions needed for its next set of lessons. It is a perspective that adds a layer of why to the how of our existence, suggesting a hidden design behind the apparent randomness. These two views are like looking at a finely crafted watch. The first view opens the back of the watch and explains how all the gears, springs and levers work together to move the hands. It is a mechanical explanation. The second view asks who made the watch and for what purpose. It looks for the watchmaker. The spiritual perspective suggests that we are not just the intricate machinery of the watch, we are also, in a deeper sense, the watchmaker. We have participated in the design of our own lives for the purpose of learning and evolution. It is the difference between seeing life as a random series of events and seeing it as a meaningful journey. Why is a child prodigy like Mozart able to compose music at an age when most children are just learning to speak in full sentences? Why are some people born with incredible athletic ability while others are born with severe physical limitations? The purely genetic and environmental view struggles to fully explain these vast differences. While it can point to hereditary factors or early exposure, it doesn't always account for the sheer depth of innate talent or the profound nature of congenital challenges that appear seemingly out of nowhere. These are the mysteries that push us to look for a deeper explanation. The concept of reincarnation and karma offers a compelling answer. It suggests that we are not born as blank slates. We arrive in this world carrying the seeds of our past lives within our soul. A talent for music, art, or mathematics may not be a random genetic gift, but the result of lifetimes spent honing that particular skill. Mozart may have been a dedicated musician in many previous incarnations, and his genius in his most famous life was the flowering of all that past effort. The soul carries its developed capacities with it, and they can blossom early in a new life when the conditions are right. Similarly, the circumstances we are born into can be seen as the karmic consequences of past actions and the lessons we have chosen for this life. A person born into a life of hardship may have a soul that chose these challenges to develop strength, resilience, and empathy. Someone born with a physical disability may be working through karma from a past life where they misused their physical body, or they may have chosen this experience to teach themselves and others about inner strength and the true meaning of wholeness. These are not punishments, but carefully chosen spiritual assignments for growth. This idea transforms our understanding of fairness. In a world of apparent chance, it can seem cruel and unjust that one person is born with every advantage while another is born into suffering. But from a spiritual perspective, each soul is on its own unique journey, facing the exact circumstances it needs for its evolution. The person born into wealth may have the difficult lesson of learning not to be attached to material things, while the person born into poverty may have the opportunity to develop profound spiritual richness. Every life, with its unique blend of talents and challenges, is a custom-designed curriculum for the soul. The journey of the soul is a concept so vast that it can be difficult to grasp with our everyday minds. To make these ideas clearer, we can use simple comparisons or metaphors. Imagine you are standing on the bank of a great river. You decide you want to cross to the other side. You plunge into the water, and for a time you are completely immersed. The water is cold, the current is strong, and you are focused only on swimming. This is like our life on Earth. We are immersed in the material world, focused on its challenges and rewards. The experience of the water is all-consuming. When you finally reach the other side, you climb out of the river. You can now look back and see the entire river, the path you took, and where you started from. You are no longer in the water, but you can understand your journey through it. This is like the soul's experience after death. It has left the immersion of physical life and can now see that life with a higher, broader perspective. It understands the currents of karma that pushed it and the strength it developed while swimming. The time on the riverbank is the period between lives, a time of reflection and understanding before deciding to cross another river. Another powerful metaphor is that of a seed. A seed contains the entire blueprint for the plant it will become. It holds the memory of its parent tree and the potential for a new tree. The seed is planted in the soil, which is like the family and environment we are born into. For a long time it grows in the dark, unseen. This is our early life, where our past life tendencies are gestating. Eventually it sprouts and grows into a plant, facing the sun, the wind and the rain. These are the experiences and challenges of our life. The kind of fruit the plant bears is its karma, the results of its growth. At the end of its life, the plant produces new seeds which carry the essence of its entire existence forward. These seeds will then fall to the ground to begin the cycle anew. Our soul is like that seed, carrying the essence of our experiences from one life to the next. We are not just the plant that lives for a single season. We are the enduring life force within the seed, continually planting ourselves in the soil of the material world to grow, to blossom and to learn. These metaphors help us feel the truth of these ideas, moving them from abstract concepts to living realities within our hearts. Why do these ideas about rebirth and karma matter? What difference does it make to our lives today? The answer is simple. It gives us a sense of meaning and purpose. When we see our life not as a random, isolated event, but as one chapter in a grand, epic story, everything changes. Our struggles are no longer meaningless suffering, they become lessons. Our relationships are not accidental encounters, they become opportunities for healing and love. Our talents are not genetic flukes, they are gifts we have earned and can now use to serve the world. This perspective infuses our existence with a profound sense of dignity. Understanding this cosmic journey can give us incredible strength to face life's challenges. When we encounter hardship, we can ask, what is the lesson here for my soul? What strength am I meant to develop? This shifts us from a position of victimhood to one of empowerment. It doesn't mean the pain isn't real, but it gives that pain a purpose. It helps us to endure difficulties with grace and courage, knowing that they are part of our chosen path of growth. It provides a comforting answer to the age-old question, why do bad things happen to good people? The answer is that every soul is on a curriculum of its own making. This worldview also encourages a deeper sense of responsibility and compassion. If we understand that the effects of our actions will return to us through the law of karma, we are naturally motivated to act with more kindness, integrity, and love. We realize that hurting another person is in the long run hurting ourselves. This fosters a sense of universal kinship. We see every other person not as a stranger but as a fellow soul on the same journey. It inspires us to help others, knowing that we are all interconnected in a vast web of existence, all striving to learn and evolve. In the end, these ideas offer a map of the cosmos that includes a place for the human heart. They tell us that our lives are infinitely precious and meaningful. They reassure us that love is never lost and that our journey does not end when our body fails. It is a story of hope, a promise that we are part of something vast, beautiful, and eternal. Whether we are facing the mystery of death or the challenges of life, this understanding can be a guiding star, illuminating our path and reminding us that we are here for a reason, to grow, to love, and to journey ever onward toward the light.